anywhere. Go online and open yours today.
The time by Sagicor Bank is
CVM News at 7 Headlines Thursday, brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, disturbing and alarming. Opposition spokesperson condemns U.S. Congressman over veiled threats to Jamaica. Justice live-streamed sentencing of Jolly and Silvera to be broadcast live. Later in Query This, customs problems. Who pays for missing items? In the business report, Realtors Association of Jamaica launches Leaders in Real Estate Breakfast. While in sports, West Indies suffer first defeat of T20 World Cup.
CVM News at 7 Headlines Thursday, brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy.
Should critical illness strike? Don't let worry fill your head. Say hello to happiness and goodbye to worry with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan. Secure your medical expenses in the event of critical illness ahead of time while benefiting from our investment portfolio and so much more. Give yourself and your family the peace of mind you deserve with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan today. And live secure, live easy.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Thursday, February 26, 2026. I'm Giovanni Dennis. Thank you so much for joining us. Up first, disturbing and alarming. Opposition spokesperson on Foreign, Regional and Diaspora Affairs, Senator Donna Scott Motley, is this evening condemning a U.S. congressman over what she says were veiled threats to Jamaica, a sovereign independent nation. Congressman Carlos Jimenez said on X that Jamaica will face the consequences after Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness spoke out against the humanitarian crisis facing the people of Cuba. Senator Scott Motley says while Jamaica could have gone further, she supports the principled position. Jamaica will face the consequences. This is the post on X that has triggered condemnation from many. Congressman Carlos Jimenez reacting to Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness's on the situation in Cuba. He says, I harshly condemn this and find it lamentable that the JLP would cover up for the dictatorship in Cuba when the Castro regime repeatedly intervened in Jamaica's politics to exacerbate partisan tensions and undermine the JLP. For context, this in part is what Prime Minister Holness said.
Cuba is our Caribbean neighbor. Its doctors and teachers have served across our region. Its people are part of our shared history. But today, the Cuban people face severe economic hardship, energy shortages, and growing humanitarian strain. Jamaica is sensitive to the struggles of the Cuban people. Humanitarian suffering serves no one.
Spokesperson on Foreign, Regional and Diaspora Affairs, Senator Donna Scott Motley, argues the congressman should be made to apologize for his remarks.
It is disturbing, it is alarming that a U.S. congressman could issue veiled threats against a sovereign and independent country. And I think that it demonstrates a kind of contempt for who we are. He lacks the authority to be in a position to want to sanction Jamaica in any way, shape, or form. His actions have to be strongly condemned. it would be beholden on those who have authority in the United States to call on him not only to withdraw his remarks, but to issue an apology to the people of Jamaica.
In the meantime, Florida-based attorney-at-law Marlon Hill believes Congressman Jimenez would do well to follow the approach of U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
In this time of coming off the post-heads of government meeting in St. Kitts with Secretary of State Rubio, I think it really takes a different tact. He may wish to better take a page out of Secretary Rubio's approach in trying to build relationships. This is a Caribbean region. South Florida is part of this Caribbean region. We all want the same things: freedom for our people, prosperity for our people, security for our people. And you can get more with some honey from St. Elizabeth than you can other things.
Senator Scott Motley says while Jamaica could have gone further, the country took a principled stance to speak out against the humanitarian crisis facing the Cuban people.
Jamaica stood up by calling for persons to render assistance to Cuba. Could they have gone further? Definitely. But you still have to be cognizant of all the elements at play.
Which are?
We would ask yourself, why was Marco Rubio at that meeting? Why did he think it necessary to attend? And was that subliminally to put pressure on the Caribbean and to say, I am here, so you better do my bidding? So in that way, we welcome the fact that the Prime Minister could say, no, you need to help Cuba.
She says the government of Jamaica should not remain silent.
I think the government should respond. Because especially in light of the fact that the threat was not issued at an individual, but it was issued to the country.
But Marlon Hill thinks differently.
Do you think there should be any response from the Jamaican government?
No, I don't think so.
In the meantime, attorney-at-law Marlon Hill says the time has come for the diaspora to join forces and speak out on the issues affecting the region.
I think it's very important for us in the diaspora, both Cuban Americans, Jamaican Americans, Trinidadian Americans, Venezuelan Americans. The time has come for us to have a regional diaspora conversation about all the things that have been happening in the last 6 months. It impacts all of us, right? So when Prime Minister Kamala Bessesso, when she speaks about what's happening in her country, we have to listen and show compassion and understanding as to why she's making the decisions that she's doing. And if we need to critique, we can critique, but there's a way and a civil way of doing it at the private dinner table, especially among the heads of state. And if there's something that is happening in Venezuela that's going to impact the region, it can't just happen in Venezuela by itself, because any of these countries that touch the Caribbean Sea, anything that happens there impacts us in Jamaica, and we can't pretend like it's not happening.
In other news, Chief Justice Brian Sykes has announced that the sentencing of embattled politician Julian Silveira will be live-streamed come March 6. The move will allow the public a chance to view the outcome of the matter following a guilty plea entered by the defense in a case that was previously handled in private.
Regarding the Julian Silveira case, that will be a live stream sentencing. And why then? Because we are now at the point where it is just the sentencing that is left, and that process, it is easier to manage at this point than with the proceedings leading up to the entering of the plea of guilty.
The Chief Justice told the media at a judiciary conversation in Kingston on Thursday that while the court allows for open justice, gun matters allow for judges to use their discretion for safety and protection of critical parties, including witnesses. Justice Sykes, however, admits there's room for a conversation around some relaxing of the measures given the technology available to aid in witness privacy and protection.
We have to look at, because you have to revisit these things from time to time to see whether the concerns that were raised then when the gun court legislation came on stream still exist today. And if they still exist, can it be accommodated in another way? So, for example, you have the technology now that can disguise the voices of witnesses. So you have technological solutions now that may be able to solve the problem.
In the meantime, Chief Justice Brian Sykes has responded to the Justice Minister's recent utterances concerning some judges allegedly misinterpreting the Child Diversion Act of 2018. The Chief Justice insists, quote, nobody can dictate to the judiciary how the law is to be interpreted, while adding there are methods to this interpretation. Nika Lewis reports.
Without naming names, the Chief Justice fired a timely reminder of the judiciary's constitutional duty to interpret the law. His remarks came hot on the heels of Justice Minister Delroy Chuck's claim that some judges in handling cases involving children have misinterpreted the Child Diversion Act, a misstep, he notes, that has led to youngsters pleading guilty to criminal charges instead of being diverted.
The judiciary takes very seriously its role as a co-equal, emphasis on the co-equal arm of government. So the executive has its functions, it sets policy, that is the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. You have the legislature, the House of Representatives and the Senate. They pass laws, and the only institution established by the Constitution to authoritatively and definitively interpret the Constitution and the laws and to develop the common law is the judiciary, not the executive.
Then a clearer indication that he's aiming at the recent utterances.
So, for example, within recent times with regard to child diversion, there has been a view expressed that the judges are misinterpreting the law. And I wish to remind the members of the public that everybody is entitled to a view, but the only place where that can be argued and acted upon is in a court of law. So nobody, regardless of the office that they hold, can dictate to the judiciary how the law is to be interpreted.
Chief Justice Sykes explains justices are guided by certain techniques in interpreting the law after it's debated, amended, and such in Parliament and enacted.
Judges are guided by the actual text of the statute, not by the intention that persons may have in their brain. And the text of the statute is the collective will of the Parliament, comprising the House of Representatives and the Senate. So ministerial statements are not part of the law, and no judge acting in accordance with the judicial oath and the Constitution can take any account of that. If the view is that the law is unclear, then there's a mechanism. The mechanism is to go to Parliament, change the law to make clear what it is said to be the policy of the legislation.
Nika Lewis, CVM News.
Meanwhile, the Chief Justice also sought to provide clarity on a previously arranged traffic day in St. Catherine by the judiciary. He maintains courts are not revenue collection entities and are not on a drive towards same.
Let me say that as an independent judiciary, the courts are not revenue collecting agencies. Traffic offenses are criminal offenses. They are not revenue earning offenses. And there are standards of the criminal law where persons choose to come to court are applied with full rigor. So any citizen who receives a traffic ticket and they are of the view that they wish to contest it, feel free to come to court, and it will be treated like any other allegation.
The Chief Justice says judges are not mandated to assist with meeting any revenue targets, and reiterates that if Jamaicans feel wronged by the pending activities, they have recourse under the Jamaican Constitution.
So the judges are not there and will never engage in the business of arm twisting in order to meet particular revenue targets. The aim of the traffic days is to allow persons to have their matters disposed of in an orderly and controlled way. It is not designed to meet any particular revenue target, stated or otherwise. So the person shouldn't feel when they go before any judge for any traffic violation, oh my goodness, the judge is here now to help to meet the budget, and therefore I might be pressured into pleading guilty. That isn't so. If you wish to contest, that's your constitutional right.
And we take another break here on CVM News at 7, but when we come back, more from the Clansman trial, as well as the latest on that fiery situation in Westmoreland.
This is Flow, Jamaica's fastest mobile network, as verified by Ookla. It's the result of a complete network rebuild, with more power backup to reduce outages and satellite backup for greater mobile stability. You can even make regular calls using Wi-Fi. Welcome to our new era of connectivity, and we're not stopping there. This is Flow, Jamaica's network.
On your mark, get set. Go for the winnings, BK 5K and relay day. Burger King 5K and relay is back Sunday, March 8, 2026, Emancipation Park at 6:30 a.m. Over 2 million in cash and prizes. Go to www.runningeventsja.com to register by March 4, 2026.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. The cross-examination of witness 11 continued Thursday in the Clansman gang trial, with the court hearing that there was no evidence linking the accused Michael Wildman to a planned 2018 robbery at the Crossroad Post Office. Carla Ramdeen was in court, however, her colleague Curlin Brown filed this report.
The cross-examination of witness 11 continued on Thursday. The defense attorney at law, Paul Gentles, representing the accused, Michael Wildman, sought to challenge the prosecution's narrative about a planned police operation carried out in Crossroads in 2018, targeting a possible robbery at the post office. Gentles attempted to prove the accused, Michael Wildman, was not involved in the planned robbery in 2018, while suggesting a star witness may have made a deal with the witness to identify men involved in criminal activities in Spanish Town. The witness testified he did not observe any attempted robbery on the day of the operation. The defense asked if he observed Michael Wildman, one of the other accused, at the location on the day of the operation. The witness said no. The defense asked if there was any evidence Wildman conspired in this planned robbery. The witness again said no. The witness then testified after he detained the three men, one was transported back to Seatock in the vehicle he was in. The witness also said the suspect was not chosen to be escorted in that vehicle for any particular reason. The defense asked if the three police officers on the vehicle were armed. The witness told the court that they were, with service pistols. Attorney General asked the witness if he was aware the man was a suspect in police criminal-related matters ranging from simple larceny, robbery, and murder. The witness said that's how he knew the man. The witness testified he had an informal conversation with the suspect going back to Seatock. The defense, in his question posed to the witness, revealed that the suspect may be one of the star witnesses in the trial. The witness said he was not aware of that. Gentles then suggested the men made a confession in their statement at Seatock, but the witness maintained there was nothing to charge them for, adding they did not confess, only detailed why they were present at the time of the operation. The defense suggested the witness brokered a deal during an informal conversation with the suspect for him to call names, aliases, and faces of men associated with crimes in Spanish Town. The witness denied.
2 days after the sister of the woman who was set on fire at a Whithorn gas station in Westmoreland was released without charges, the gas station attendant who was charged in connection with the act was released on bail. With the details, here's Caroline Brown plus more from her mother.
I want to see my mommy. The son, which is 13, he don't talk much. And every time I ask him, are you all right? He say, yes, Grandma.
While noting, unlike his 2-year-old sister, there was masked sadness on his face, Erica Cope, who opted to speak off camera, and her 2 grandchildren were in a better mood Thursday after Colette Swaby, the Westmoreland gas station pump attendant who appeared before the Westmoreland Parish Court on assault charges, was released on a $350,000 bail bond. Swaby was ordered by the judge to surrender her travel documents, relocate from Whithorn community, and report to the Negril police station twice weekly, and return to court on April 16, when the case against her will be mentioned. CVM News was told before the decision, some persons outside the courthouse chanted for her to be issued a bail. Except for her work title as a gas station attendant, who is Colette Swaby. A question we put to her mother.
She's a people person. Easy to get along with. She's jovial, she's very nice. And if you get to know her, you would see what I'm saying. She's a very nice person. But you know, at times people can get ignorant at times if you mess with them.
When those who supported her saw her emerge from the courthouse with section of her face bandaged, there was celebration followed by an uproar when she was reunited with her baby, smothering her with hugs and kisses. Reports are Jones did not press criminal charges against the younger Forrester, the sister of Dacia Forrester, the woman who remains hospitalized with severe burns. A close relative of Colette is alleged to have said her main objective is to put an end to the feud and return to her normal life. Her mother, in the meantime, has this message.
Please don't let violence carry to an end. Please, if you're in a violence and you can resolve the matter properly, please do so. Please do so. Don't let this happen to anybody else.
Ms. Cope says she has been a broken woman after the incident, which saw her daughter charged with assault occasioning actual bodily harm.
Based on the situation, I'm not taking it good, but I just have to be strong for her and the kids. And the other lady that in the hospital, I had to just be strong for them. I pray their strength. I ask God to have mercy upon them. Give her a second chance. So when she come out and she look on herself, she can say, this is my foolish idea.
Caroline Brown, CVM News.
Agriculture Minister Floyd Green says his ministry is working closely with the Banana Board and RADA to help revive banana production on the island following the disruption brought on by Melissa. He was speaking at a handover ceremony for banana and plantain farmers in St. James on Wednesday. Javone Hamilton reports.
Agriculture Minister Floyd Green in St. James on Wednesday handing over vouchers and fertilizers to several banana and plantain farmers affected by Hurricane Melissa.
And I really appreciate the fertilizers that was given to me. It will help me tremendously in restoring my plantain cultivation.
Yes, it will help a lot because I really need the help to put it back. Put back my field.
With more than 7,000 farmers affected, Minister Green notes that banana remains critical to the sector. The government, he says, will continue to help farmers recover.
The ministry has allocated $100 million to support the rehabilitation of our most affected areas. As such, through that, 70 million of that is directed towards fertilizer vouchers, allowing farmers to access inputs that come from directly approved farm stores in your communities. So we will be working to bring the fertilizer to you, and 27 million is going to go towards the procurement and distribution of bagged fertilizer, and another 3 million of the amount to be used to deal with the efficiency and administration of that.
Giovanni Hamilton, CVM News.
For many Jamaicans, shipping a barrel isn't just about goods. It's about sacrifice, family, and hard-earned money. So imagine opening that barrel only to realize items are missing. Was it the courier? Was it customs? Or does the responsibility fall on you? This week on Query This, Akeem Orit explores the legal realities behind customs problems and missing shipments.
You pack your barrels, ship them across borders. When they arrive, items are missing. It's a situation many Jamaicans face, especially during overseas shipping. But when something goes wrong, who is legally liable? Attorney at law Tamizo Campbell explains.
At the end of the day, we have to be sure of certain things. For example, are we sure that the things were missing at the wharf or the warehouse? Or is it from the shipping company? So we have to know that first before we can make a determination as to who is liable.
According to the attorney, the burden does not automatically fall on customs. The onus is on you. If you have an inventory list and you're confident that the courier shipped your goods, then you move on to the customs agency. Ms. Campbell insists you should at least understand the law and the process.
There is a law under the Customs Act that basically speaks to you packing and repacking your items. So you would be there making sure that those items are actually there. And you must, if you find something missing, you must report it before you leave the ground. And you can imagine why you would have to do that, because as it relates to liability, it's going to be very hard to prove, because it's not like you're out in the public or two of you out in the public and you're seeing something and somebody can be a witness, you know, to say this is lost or so. So it's very important for you to report it. Inspect and report before you remove the barrel.
In the event that things are missing from the barrel, you need evidence, and so even before leaving home with your barrel, precautionary steps must be taken.
Before liability, we have to ensure that an investigation is taking place or has been concluded at customs. The courts will never entertain a legal action if that was never done. And I can imagine why they would want to do that, because you would want to ensure that you're saying that yes, they took these items, or whether by negligence or willful act, that the items were taken from or stolen. We don't really want to say stolen, because you know the whole, we know it's not really fully criminal, but you say presumption of innocence, so you really can't just say that unless you have some proof. And that's one of the reasons I'm saying the most critical step is to ensure that you inspect and report it immediately before you take that barrel, because after you take that barrel, customs can't tell you anything.
If you're wondering what legal steps to take immediately to protect your rights, the advice is simple. Act quickly, as it could be a difficult task.
If you did not, before you had taken the barrel from customs, inspect and report it, it's going to be a very difficult and challenging issue to prove, because that is what you'll have to bring to the courts in order to be successful in a legal action against customs.
If you're currently experiencing issues with missing items from shipped barrels, legal guidance can help you navigate your next steps. That's all the time we have for Query This tonight. Remember, if you have a legal dilemma or concern you would like to query, send an email to aorit@cvmtv.com. I am Akeem Orit. See you next week on Query This.
Still to come, the business report and the news from overseas. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The KFC value menu has you thinking chicken. Get the famous blue combo for just $640.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
This is Flow, Jamaica's fastest mobile network, as verified by Ookla. It's the result of a complete network rebuild, with more power backup to reduce outages and satellite backup for greater mobile stability. You can even make regular calls using Wi-Fi. Welcome to our new era of connectivity, and we're not stopping there. This is Flow, Jamaica's network.
Guess what me do?
What you do?
Me go check me prostate. No,
seriously?
Me nah do that. Remember say that pops drop out from, you know. Me have to take it serious. You can't just do the blood test, you know. But better safe than sorry. So me do the full package. Plus, the NHF card help pay for the PSA test. Biggs, you're 40, you know. The earlier, the better. Cause me know you still want fire on all cylinder.
NHF is here for health. NHF is here for you.
Unbeatable value you will love. Find it only at Courts. Get up to $80,000 off select furniture, appliances, and electronics. Keep your cash. Shop on credit and choose how you pay. Get unbeatable value you will love. Find it only at Courts. Bringing value home. Offer ends February 28, 2026. Conditions apply.
Say aloha flavor. We know pizza. It's literally in our name.
Pizza Hut. Yeah. We know pizza. Pizza Hut. For the love of pizza. Pizza Hut. Yeah. The sweet and the savory. Pizza Hut. Hawaiian, no normal. Clearly. Pizza Hut.
Welcome back. It's now time for the business report with Joel Crosskill.
Lots to deconstruct with you in the business report today. On the groundbreaking work being done for a more efficient, transparent and sustainable real estate sector was observed at the inaugural Realtors Association of Jamaica, RAJ's Leader in Real Estate Breakfast, presented by Scotiabank, where Yvette Anderson, Head of Sales and Distribution at the Bank of Nova Scotia Jamaica Limited, showered praise on the sector and the professionals who operate within it.
Your sterling contributions ensured that Jamaica did not weaken our real estate market. You focused on quality. You focused on location analysis. You focused on building standards. You focused on professional guidance. And of course, this is why we're standing here today on the cusp of recovery and have recovered in some areas. I want to pause and to say thank you. Last year, Scotiabank became Jamaica's largest mortgage lender, and our residential loan portfolio surpassed $107 billion. Again, thank you. Your contributions made that happen, and together we can do more.
Gabrielle Grant Gilpin Hudson, President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica, spoke of the occasion as an opportunity to not just reinforce the foundations of the critical sector, but elevate the scope of what's being realized for its nearly 1,900 members as part of a broader development agenda.
With just under $600 million in rental properties and over $370 billion in properties for sale currently listed on our multiple listing service, we are major movers of Jamaican real estate. We don't just follow the market, we protect and serve it. We all know the jokes about being on Jamaican time, but when it comes to multi-million and billion-dollar transactions, When it comes to people's investments and homes, that joke isn't funny. The time it takes to close a lot of our transactions is just too long. It creates illiquidity in our market. It delays payment of the dedicated professionals who bring these transactions to life and who contribute meaningfully to our economy. And it does not inspire investor confidence. When these systems and processes are unpredictable or take too long, it doesn't match up to the beautiful brand Jamaica that we are all building.
Judy Benjamin, first Vice President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica, in recognition of the association's 60th anniversary this year, suggests the unity of purpose envisaged from its inception has scarcely been more profound.
Whether it's market trends, regulatory shifts, investment opportunities, emerging challenges, your perspective will light the way for all of us to move forward. This is our collective wisdom at work. A true sharing of information to equip us for what's next.
And what's knocking at the door, according to the RAJ president, is essential for the acceleration and expansion of Jamaica's property market.
So to transform Jamaica into a first world real estate market, we have to bridge the gap between necessary oversight and unnecessary delay. Regulation and oversight are vital. They are the guardrails of investor confidence, especially because real estate is a high-risk industry for things like fraud and money laundering. But the guardrails to ensure safety and standards shouldn't be roadblocks, so that we can continue to make Jamaica the best location on the map.
A map that has grown in sophistication as a result of both technological and policy advance, according to Minister of Water, Environment and Climate Change, Matthew Samuda.
We have developed what's called a Jamaica Systemic Risk Assessment Tool. We're the only developing country in the world that has one. Now what this tool does, it amalgamates thousands of data points of related to infrastructure, related to energy, related to your water distribution systems, related to your critical social services, and ascribes climate risk to these areas and to these points of infrastructure.
None more critical for the build-out of the sector than the provision of water.
There is no way for us to continue to develop at the rate we have without significantly increasing our investment in our adaptation plans for water. Why is that important? Because if we had developed around our water resources master plan 200 years ago, the capital of Jamaica might be Martha Brae, or might be in Rio Cobre, or might have been further away from the coastline in Black River, because those are your most reliable water sources. So sometimes somebody says, well, why did they choose here? Why have they opted for this area to be zoned in a particular way? I want to assure you that the decisions we're making for our development trajectory are grounded in science, and they're grounded in the best technology that we have available to us. So we're making decisions in a manner that contemplates our climate risk.
For parties interested in the outstanding terrain that was covered during the 2026 RAJ Leaders in Real Estate Breakfast, the first available viewing time is your next business report. I'm Joel Crosskill.
And it's time for regional and international news with Marshall Hazley.
We begin with regional news. According to Cuba's government, their border guards have killed 4 people and injured 6 others who were traveling in a U.S.-registered speedboat during an apparent gunfight off the Cuban coast. BBC News has the details.
We're going to have our own information on this, and we're going to figure out exactly what happened. And there are a number of things that could have happened here. But I'm not even going to speculate as to what it could have been. It's a wide range of things. But suffice it to say, it is highly unusual to see shootouts in open sea like that. It's not something that happens every day. It's something, frankly, that hasn't happened with Cuba in a very long time. And